I am the writing coach, and I help preachers, I help leaders, I help visionaries. I help you start and finish your book and or your courses and written projects. And that is who I am. Guess what? This keyboard on my phone wouldn't let me be great. I couldn't even type out what this video was about today, but we're not going to let things like tech failures get in the way of me telling you in 5 minutes or less what is truly is required if you want to go from an idea to a finished book in your hand in 30 days. Okay, so I'm going to wait for just a couple of you to hop on, and we're going to dive in. We're going to dive in. All right, guys, so you want to take a book from idea, from the conception right in here, to actually having a finished product in your hand or a digital product in 30 days. This is exactly what you would need to do in order to accomplish that. Okay, first of all, it does help, and we're going to spend 5 minutes together or less. But it does help. Mom, hi Mom, I see you on here. Yeah, I was saying that this keyboard on my phone would not let me be great, so I can't even type out what the video is about, but hey, we're going to go back and fix that. So you want this book in your hand in the next 30 days. Here's what you're going to do. You already want to be an expert on a particular subject. You need to be the subject matter expert. You don't have time to sit and do all of the research that's required in order to create a quality book in 30 days if you don't have the time for that, to do the research, the writing, and also produce, right? So you want to be an expert if you're going to get a book from idea to in your hand in 30 days, right? So you already need to know several key things. How are you going to publish this book? Are you going through Amazon? Have you already shopped around for a more traditional publisher? Or are you going to pay a publisher, a vanity publisher, to produce your book for you? You have to know the answers to these questions if you're going to have a finished copy of your book in your hand in 30 days or less, right? So who's your printer going to be? You need to know that. Where are you going to print copies of your book or your workbook? Will you be printing, or are you going to go exclusively digital? Who will your editor be? Hey, Daryl. You need a professional editor if you want to produce a quality product. All right, and then you're also going to need a accountability person. Who is there for accountability? Who is going to keep you on track through the process, right? 30 days is not a lot of time. So what about the cost of the services that are required? And Mom, I hear you. Can you write a book about back surgery? You want to know if I can, or can you? I think you would be the subject matter expert on that one, right? From the medical and the personal, right? I know. Don't you do that tear for me. Don't you do that. So we're talking about what is really required if you want to take a book from idea to in your hand in 30 days or less. And so I'm going to run right back through it very, very quickly. Okay, you already want to be a subject matter expert. You don't have time to do all the research, the writing, and all the other things that go into producing a quality book, right? You need to know how you're going to publish the book. Are you going traditional? Are you doing print on demand? Are you going to hire a vanity publisher to take care of these things for you? Or are you going to self-publish, right? Who or what company will be providing your printing services? You need to know this, okay? And I'm telling you now that if you want a quality book, Office Depot is not an option, okay? That is not a book printer. So we're talking, are you going to be going overseas for your printing job? If you're going overseas, that really does affect your timeline if you want that finished copy in your hand within 30 days, right? You're going to have to do other types of research to find a quality book printer that's in your region if you're going to get that copy and meet your deadline, right? Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you. You want to know who your editor is. Who's going to put that professional polish on your book? You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot produce a quality book without hiring an editor. I'll tell you, there may be things that readers, they don't consciously understand about the editing process. They might not even have a command on the English language or grammar and punctuation. But unconsciously, every person knows when something just doesn't look right. They might not be able to tell you what it is, but they can tell. And when you have things like a typo on the back cover or things are not centered, the eye is trained from years of being in the library, years of being in school. The eye is trained to know quality versus DIY. So you don't want to make some of those common mistakes. And then you want to also know about the cost of the services that you need to invest in. Okay? You don't want to get to the end of your manuscript and then realize that you don't have the money required to invest in printing or your editing service or whatever else it is that you might be needing, okay? So you need to have knowledge and information about all of that. Your budget is on point. How are you going to market the book once you have it finished? Because a lot of the times we get so caught up in just having that finished product, we didn't even think about all of the marketing that needs to be handled along the way while you're actually writing the book. All right. So once you know all of that, then you can dive in. You need to be clear, very clear about why you want to write a book in the first place. Because 30 days, not only does it go by quickly, it's a very intense process to produce something from your heart, put it on paper, and you're focused on that thing every single day. That deadline is pressing on your back. You really need to be clear about why you're doing it. Now, especially in our Christian community, bye, Mom, I love you too. Thanks for hopping on. So in this Christian community, it's often, when we talk about why we want to do a thing, we have our best self, and then we have our real self. And so I'm telling you, you need to be honest with your real self about why you want a book. And for a lot of people want a book because they do want their name up in lights. They do want to make a lot of money selling, something that they poured their heart and energy, their whole soul into, right? And I'm not here to say that there's anything wrong with that. But I want you to tap into your vulnerable self, your real self. And it's not usually all about the money. It isn't. There's a feeling, there's a lack, there's a need that's at the bottom of that desire for money. I mean, what is it? Is it, you want to feel like you finally belong, or, you want to feel like you measure up. There's a deep inner feeling inside of each of us attached with any goal that we have. And if you can tap into that, guess what? During the 30 days that you're doing this intense time writing your book, you can create opportunities to stir up that deeper, vulnerable feeling within your real self. And you can be feeling it all along. You can be feeling that sensation all along and even throughout the writing process. Okay, so there's a psychology behind everything, and it truly will benefit you to take the time, Google some things, and get a deeper understanding. I mean, not only will it help you with this goal, but countless goals. Okay, I only have a couple minutes left, so let's move through it, right? So the next thing you want to do after you have gotten clear and you're already aware of the cost of services and the types of services that you will require in order to have a book in 30 days, you want to commit to it. And so commitment is a thing that you do in here. It's a thing that you do in here, but it's also actions that you take. That's how you know that you're serious. That's how you know you're serious. When you actually start making a plan, you get into your phone and you're setting an alarm every single day for 6 a.m. because you're going to sit down and write that book from 6 to 7:30 every day. See, 30 minutes, when you have a 30-day goal of completing a book, and you want it done from beginning to end, you can't spend just 30 minutes a day writing. You're going to have to devote yourself and really pour the effort in to produce a result. And it's going to take an hour or an hour and a half if you've never gone through this process before. What questions might you have for me so far? We only have another couple minutes, okay? So your commitment is going to take shape. It's going to be something that is tangible. It's going to be an action that you're taking every single day. You're showing up for yourself. You're keeping a promise for yourself, right? And I'm telling you, part of your commitment process in writing this out, completing this book that you have in your heart, listen, you hear me say this time and time again. We all have something that God has put in each of us to do. We have that thing in there. You don't want to get to the end of your life and you did not fulfill that thing. This is not to make you feel guilty. Okay, it's not. My spouse, he works in the bereavement field. He works with people who, honestly, they're going to die. They're on hospice care. And he talks to those patients and he talks to their family members. So end of life issues are a real thing. Regrets at the end of life are a real thing. A real thing. And I don't deserve to have that, and neither do you. It serves as fair warning to remind each other that, these things happen. We want to finish this life. We want to be dry. We want to be empty. We want to have made sure that we have squeezed every drop out of ourselves when we get to the end of this thing, right? Can anybody relate to that? Because y'all are quiet on here. Did anybody receive anything of value concerning how to actually push this book out in 30 days? Now, if you want to set a timeline like that for yourself, or maybe you want to give yourself 60 days, but honestly, you don't even know where to start. You might be a subject matter expert. Well, guess what? I did write a free guide for you. It's called 7 Steps to Writing a Book. I think I'm on my personal page right now. You can just go right there to the About section or right at the top of my page, and there's a link right there to it. And it's broken down right in the link. 7 Steps to Writing a Book. You can download that. It's free. Download it, and guess what? I have automatic emails set up to automatically hit your inbox every other day, just checking in on you. And I read your replies. Like, most people who receive these emails from me as a result of downloading this guide, they write me back. They hit that reply button and they're letting me know how they're doing. And they're moving through the process. I'm getting, seeing people read this guide, a simple guide, and they're getting results. They're making progress with their book. And wouldn't you want to be counted among them? Right? So, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. If you're catching the replay, I want you to type replay in the comments. I also want you to share this with people who you know want to write a book, but they just don't know where to get started, or they don't know how to figure out how to even set up an end goal of like 30 days. You can do this, absolutely. And I'm here for you if you should need more information or if you want to get started with me. Have a fabulous day.